in La Jolla, California, which is located in San Diego County. I am a target victim and activist concerning the continued criminal expeditions of what is known as gang stalking, which can also be termed as organized stalking. Now, I'm going to get right to the point in reference to the subject matter of this video, and this is a lawyer video, meaning that this video will be dedicated to being presented to specific, certain, prospective lawyers and law firms, okay, pertaining to lawsuits that I hope to file one day concerning what I know and the crimes that have happened to me. Now, let me take off my glasses. Periodically throughout this video, I will be checking the video like this to make sure that I'm still live broadcasting. If at any time this video abruptly stops before I say thank you for listening, have a good day, goodbye. Still research what I've stated so far up to that point and what is incorporated within the title of this Periscope video. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth, because we as American citizens and we as targeted individuals, whether you're an American or not, because these criminal realities are happening all over the world, okay, in many other countries, which is also exposed on the internet, okay, we have to rely on ourselves in reference to taking care of ourselves, protecting ourselves, and informing the public concerning what is happening to us, and informing the public so they can research what we expose, so they can make informed decisions in order to protect themselves, their families, their friends, and their property. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth, because the media will not cover these criminal realities. Now, fellow American citizens, I incorporated a Twitter link from my a tweet link from my Twitter account in the title of this Periscope video. Within that tweet link, okay, which you need to get out a piece of paper and pen, write down the characters, and then type them in at your URL address bar. Hit enter. Excuse me, I got a burp. Sorry, I just had lunch a little bit ago. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to write down the URL characters and type them in at your URL address bar. Hit enter, and then what will happen is that you will literally be able to bring up the tweet link. Incorporated within the tweet itself is 3 YouTube URL links that, in which all you'll have to do is click on them with your mouse. You won't have to write anything down anymore. And also incorporated within the tweet link is 4 snap screenshots of specific. One is of technology that has been literally put against the wall. That it's a technological apparatus that is put against and contacted to a wall, and then the other technology that you see within that same snap screenshot is the technology that assists in making sure that the technology that is attached to the wall, okay, is able to then be perpetrated, and the individual sitting there who's monitoring the whole thing and making sure everything works. That is a filthy maggot psychotronic perpetrator. Psychotronics is a term that describes, it's a phrase that you can Google on YouTube that is a catch-all phrase that describes the name of specific technologies that can target the psychological systems, meaning your brain. Now, this technology, psychotronics, is all over the internet, being exposed by tens of thousands of people all over the world. Okay. That technology has also been exposed on national radio shows and marginally, okay, on local news broadcasts. Case in point, you can go to YouTube and type in MSNBC Palm Springs gang stalking. Okay, you'll hear synthetic telepathy. You'll see some middle-aged men talk about how they're being targeted, and then you'll nicely see about how the news media went out of their way to incorporate a disinformation doctor in order to make it appear that the complaints that these men are factually stating that is occurring to them are the result of symptomologies due to a mental illness. Because that's how these crimes are being protected. It's all over the internet that targeted individuals of this crime are being intentionally, with complete malice aforethought, okay, meaning that it's an intentional crime connected to gang stalking crimes to intentionally, criminally falsify falsely diagnose a targeted individual with any type of mental illness or any other type of mental or physical malady that would discredit the facts that they're exposing. So we've researched that extensively in reference to psychiatrists, psychologists, whether they're court-appointed or whether they're attached to psychiatric floors and at county mental health or neighborhood area hospitals, okay, and even private psychologists and psychiatrists can be approached by the government from behind the scenes, meaning that the client is never told that they're approached, and they are colluded with to work against the target. And this means any type of doctor, any type of. I already know that Dr. Barbara Fisher in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, intentionally diagnosed me with a false diagnosis. I went to that actual appointment on June 9, 2009, with an individual who I was already starting to suspect something was going on with her, and then eventually indisputably connected her walking away with evidence that she was directly connected to the gang stalking crimes of me and had been for over a decade. So, fellow American citizens, don't think that these filthy maggots are not, if you're a target of this crime, do not ever believe that you are not being monitored in real time at all times. You are. Now, here's another good YouTube channel I want to direct you to, so you can see a defense contractor exposing this pertaining to what he knows and his own personal victimization. His name is called Brian 2. His last name is spelled T-E-W. So just go to YouTube and type, or Google, and type in Brian 2 remote neural monitoring, or Brian 2 and gang stalking. In fact, he used to be a San Diego target. He's now moving all over the world. I don't understand his decisions concerning that. I've seen videos of him being in China, Russia, Israel, and so on, and being victimized with these criminal realities in these countries as well. I don't know about when he went to Russia or not. He's stating he wasn't gang stalked in Russia. So, so fellow American citizens, the reason why I make these videos, well, let me get back to the tweet for a second. So the 3 YouTube videos that are incorporated within this tweet that is attached to the title of this Periscope video are extremely important for you to listen to, especially the one that's got the man, the young woman, and the young man giving an interview together. I think that's the second YouTube link. It may be the third, but I think it's the second. They give a very good general description concerning what gang stalking victims are enduring. If memory serves me correctly, though, I don't remember if they brought up brain entrainment. If they did, I don't think they expanded on it. And I know a lot about heterodyning and brain entrainment. Trust me, you would not believe what I know. You just would not believe it. Now, and then the third YouTube video is a YouTube video from the YouTube channel that I just discovered from, his last name is Sweeney. He's been on the Ground Zero show with Clyde Lewis, which is a national radio show, which is actually the same national radio show that I've been on. Those national radio show links that I've been on, most of them concerning the ones that I've been on, and a few others that I haven't, but are related to the same subject matters, are incorporated within my blog. Okay? My blog is attached to my profile of my Twitter account, and you will obviously know what Twitter account that is by writing down the URL characters that are posted within the title of this Periscope video, then typing them in at your URL address bar, bring that tweet up, and the blog is attached to the profile of that account. I strongly suggest you go to it. In fact, the best thing for you to do in order to be able for you to see how important I am, when you go into that blog, go immediately to the section that exposes the 9/17/2013 Ground Zero show, what I exposed on that show, and how what I exposed on that show is related to things that came out the very next day and within a week of that show. So I strongly suggest when you go into that blog, go directly to the area within the blog that's dedicated to the 9/17/2013 Ground Zero show. All radio shows that I have incorporated within that blog concerning some of the radio shows that I've been on pertaining to this same national radio show. I've been on the same show several times, are incorporated within that blog. There's a few times I've been on the show that I have not been incorporated within that blog. There's also other links concerning the same national radio shows that are exposed in that blog. Well, Mr. Sweeney, okay, who is the third YouTube video link within the tweet, he has been on that show as well. Okay, now, so that's the third one. So I strongly suggest you pay very close attention and research every single description in all videos that I incorporated within the tweet link that I've already before mentioned and am discussing. Now, the other three snap screenshots are 3 snap screenshots from the Sweeney YouTube video, and it's showing specific aspects of the brain that is being targeted of gang stalking victims. We are literally being neurally manipulated, neurally stimulated, neurally controlled, and biologically controlled and manipulated, and it does encompass torture. Flat out. Okay, now, victims of this crime are put in a program that we are never allowed to get out of. This program is completely covered, perpetrated by the intelligence communities. And since America, see, when you look at the United States of America, the United States of America is a country that is made up of separate states that are joined together as one country. You'll understand why I'm talking about this in a second. So even though it's a crime that is perpetrated by the law, by the intelligence communities and the federal government, you got to look at it. One, the intelligence agencies and the federal government, one of their main concerns concerning being exposed is because when you look at what I'm stating in reference to, the absolute and complete control of the neurological and biological systems and the torture that goes on concerning these crimes using these technologies, the federal government and the law enforcement agencies and the intelligence communities and the military do not want their image tarnished at all, because they would never survive, not even for one day, if the whole entire general population of the United States knew this shit was going on. They even know that. Ex-CIA scientist Dr. Robert Duncan, who's all over YouTube, exposed that as well. And he assisted in developing, some of the compartmentalized developments of this technology. So he knows what he's talking about, and I do too, through my extensive research. Knowledge has come from it. So, and knowledge is data based on facts. It's not data based on bullshit or speculation. It's data based on facts. So when I say to you that I've been researching these horrific criminalities, since June 9th, 2009, on the internet, the day I discovered what was happening to me as gang stalking, I was then able to research this crime and then everything attached to it. As a result of this exhaustive, extensive research, and then combined with and overlapped onto the experience, I absolutely know for a fact that it's the intelligence agencies that are perpetrating these horrific criminal realities, which encompasses slavery, torture, murder, forced suicide, illegal incarceration, including in jails, detention centers, institutions, and psychiatric wards, and group homes. They don't give two shits. They're wild animals. But the point being is that every single American citizen is living within a state within this country. Since the intelligence agencies and the federal government, who's actually behind this in the military, they hide behind the state and local municipalities. And they're given a template of protocols and directions concerning what to do and what not to do, what to do towards a target and what not to do for a target. Meaning that how their positions, the courts, the doctors, the police, the state attorney generals, the district attorneys, they're all told what to not to do concerning assisting a target. But then they are also used concerning what to do to a target in reference to using their employment descriptions and the courts, the doctors, county mental health, and so on, in order to completely make sure that the target is entrapped within an isolated environment so the crime can continue until death is achieved. Money is made off of that, even like life insurance policies that are taken up by third parties. Oh, absolutely. These wild, insane, these people they literally deserve the death penalty for what they're doing, literally, and that isn't a lie. Literally, they can't be said any clearer. So when you look at how the United States is nothing but a bunch of states that are joined together as one country, then you have to look at, well, each human being that is a target lives within the dedicated jurisdictions that they're being targeted in. And if the courts and the police are being used in order to make sure that the target individual never receives any assistance, but yet also the same employment descriptions are used against the target, you got to look at the federal government is the one that is using them from behind the scenes. But also know this as well. There are so many crimes attached to the remote technologies that are being used on gang stalking victims. And I want to say this too. You can be a gang stalking victim and be subjected to these psychotronic weapons without the open gang stalking harassment. So always know that as well. You got to remember that these technologies are also being used at the state, county, and local level, perpetrated by state governments as well, because they're making hundreds of millions of dollars off the victimizations of the target. You got to also look at corporations. Research groups are also directly connected to this crime, but at the end of the day, the government is always the main perpetrator of it. and the one that makes sure that it's protected no matter who is used as the front group and no matter who also benefits from it. That's in reference to the research groups, okay, the illegal probate control, and so on and so forth. These crimes are directly connected to hundreds of different criminal motivations. Hundreds. And one target can be picked for 30 crimes. So always know the truth concerning what. Always know this: target individuals we know through experience and educated knowledge, and the educated knowledge just doesn't come from other target individuals' testimony, but it also comes from doctors who are exposing this crime, researchers that are exposing this crime, intelligence agency personnel, ex-intelligence agency personnel who know about these crimes even marginally or not, okay, are also all over the internet exposing this crime, including through books. Like, you can go to Google when you get done watching this video, and you can type in "remote brain targeting" by Renee Pittman. Another book is "Electronic Torture, Electronic Rape, Technology and Gang Stalking at the Post Office," written by Jules Cran. You can also go to Google and type in "The Invisible Crime" by Mike Fitzhugh-Bell. Okay, there's thousands of websites all over the internet exposing this crime. This crime is the main crime that is exposed on the internet. Okay, it is the main crime. Now, when you look at how big the internet is, okay, it's a gazillion times bigger than our national news media is. Absolutely, because it's worldwide. Think about what I'm really telling you right now. This crime is the main crime that is mostly exposed on the internet. What does that tell you? Now, the reason why you might not know about it is because our media in the United States is completely controlled. See, most Americans don't even know that the entire media system within this country is owned by 6 corporations, and that includes them controlling the affiliates of each state, county, city, and town in reference to news organizations. So if you and then you can also at any time research how the State Department has influence over what gets exposed through any media platform pertaining to, like, your local news, your national news, and newspapers. You know. So if you got the government and the military that's perpetrating these horrific criminal realities, and they know they are, you can't commit a crime and not know it. Okay? Don't think that they have not set up protective mechanisms in order to make sure it doesn't get exposed to the entire population. And they're even going after the internet now. Okay? Absolutely. So if you're a target of this crime, or you know somebody who is, and even if you're not, you better research this crime now while the internet is not, it is the way it is today, where it's not being completely controlled. But there is a lot of massive censorship going on right now as well on the internet too. Don't think that there's not misinformation and disinformation agents on the internet. I've even been on national radio shows exposing that. That link is incorporated within my blog. That is in reference to the 0901 2015 Ground Zero show. Hold on. So, my name is Leslie Williams. Now, I have no doubt in my mind at all that I have at least 30 implants located within my biological systems. I have them in my ears. I have them in my eyes. I have them in my throat. Okay, in my speech larynx. I have them on the side of my neck. I have them in my jaw. I have them in my mouth. Okay, I have them in my private parts. I have them in my bladder. I have them in my arms, my hands, my legs, and my feet, okay, and in my brain. Now, at any time, you can go to Google and type in brain-to-computer interface implants, EMG implants, prosthetic implants, stimulated responsive implants, okay? All these implant names can be typed in at Google to gang stalking, and you can also probably YouTube them as well. Ear implants. Oh my God, you would not believe what I'm enduring concerning what's in my ears. I have no doubt. I already know. I know it for a fact. I want to give you an example. I'm taking off my hat right now. And what I'm going to do is I got a pretty short haircut, so you should be able to see me okay. Just bear with me a second. Now, you know this part of the ear right here that's at the tip of my fingertip? Okay? This part right here that's between the end of the lobe and the beginning of the top lobe? That really hard thing that you feel that's right there? Well, I can take my finger and push that in to where it's literally pushed. Hold on a second. I can take that part. Okay, now again, this part that I'm referring to is right after the very bottom okay, of the earlobe. Okay, but you want to take your finger and you want to go up from the very bottom of the earlobe. Okay, and then what you want to do is take your finger and go to the bottom, at the very bottom of the earlobe at the top. Now what you want to do is press at that spot that's in the middle, between those 2 points. I can take my finger and press that spot, which then that part of the ear then covers the whole of my eardrum. As a result of me doing that, when I do it, guess what I hear nonstop? Electricity flow. And what they are is they're transreceiver implants. They're radio implants. They're ear implants that run and are operated through radio signals. And they act as a transreceiver, meaning that they transmit information and receive information. Everything that I state is heard through remote neural monitoring as a result of my subvocal speech being monitored, and that's achieved through the implants, electrodes, or stimulated responsive implants that have been placed within the larynx of my speech, of my vocal cords. Okay. Also, everything that I say verbally is heard through my ears. That's transferred to the audio cortex. Okay, and the brain to computer interface implants are interfacing with not only the neural electrical functions that I'm processing through my brain, but it's also making a neurological access to my visual and audio cortex, meaning they can see everything I see and hear everything I state. Verbally, they can hear everything I'm stating through my internal dialogue as a result of the speech being processed up through the larynx, which is your vocal cords. So you can research extensively remote neural monitoring and subvocal speech monitoring. You can also understand this as well. When I was on the Ground Zero show on 02/05/2014, when Daniel Estelon was on the show, who's an author, one of his books is called The Deconstruction of Humanity. Okay, the name of this specific show is called I Humanot, and it's about transhumanism. I called up the show that night and spoke directly to Daniel Estelon and Clyde Lewis. That national radio show link is in my blog, the 02/05/2014. Okay. And it is introduced in the blog, so you'll know how to find it. Okay. Now, when I called up that show, I asked Daniel Estelon if he ever heard of the Blue Brain Project. Not the Blue Beam. Okay, the Blue Brain. That can be Googled. Even Freeman, okay, is exposing that on his YouTube channel. Okay, I think his YouTube channel is called Freeman Fly. Anyways, hear me out. So, I called up the Ground Zero show on 02/05/2014 when Daniel Estelon, who's all over YouTube and Google exposing remote neural monitoring, even in other countries. Okay? Because I don't think he's an American citizen. He might have dual citizenship, I don't know. But anyway, so he's on the show. He's an author. He's been on the Alex Jones show several times. He's a pretty well-known guy. I got a lot of respect for him because of what he exposes. So anyways, I called him the show. I asked Daniel Estelon right on the national radio show. I go, have you ever heard of the Blue Brain Project? Which is basically a project that's being perpetrated against gang stalking victims pertaining to the reverse engineering of the brain, so the brain can then be re-engineered and programmed for the sake of neurological control and to create synthetic biologies and avatars. Okay, so you can extensively Google the Blue Brain Project. It's a sub-project of Project 2045. So just hear me out. So I asked him if he ever heard of the Blue Brain Project, and he said no. He then went on to ask me, he goes, how did you hear of this term? And I said, well, I found it by discovering it as a result of researching at Google mind uploading, mind transfer, and mind hacking technologies. He then goes, no, it's not called that. It's called remote neural monitoring. And remote neural monitoring is all over the internet to be the main technology that's being used on gang stalking victims every day, including when we sleep. He then goes on to expose some of the functions of this technology. And he flat out wide openly stated right on the national radio show, being heard by millions of people, that as a result of you, any person being victimized with this technology, your mind literally becomes part of their main brain. As a result, they're able to manipulate the brain functions, your emotions, your memory. They're able to see through your eyes and hear through your ears. You understand? So, fellow American citizens, how much privacy do you think you have? This technology is also being used for illegal and criminal interrogation. Because when you think about, hear me out for a minute, what is interrogation? You might think to yourself, well, interrogation is when a cop is sitting at a table and he's asking you a million questions and he's interrogating you about a subject matter. Okay? As a result, when you answer these questions, information is being extracted from you verbally as a result of being questioned. Well, what remote neural monitoring does is it monitors you neurally remotely and extracts information that you are neurally processing, including your speech. As a result, they take that information and then use it for brain manipulation, okay, and by and through taking the information, realizing what you plan on doing, and then propping up the staged events around you, which can include assaults, robberies, rapes, events that lead to your arrest. As a result of them knowing where you're at, knowing what you're planning on doing, they can then prop up the individuals that they decide to use towards you for the staged event in order to bring about results, so the effects from the results can be monopolized on. And every single bit of it is about taking you to a place where you are exploited, including in jails, group homes, court proceedings, okay, and that includes county jails, detention centers, and prisons, and psychiatric wards. So all those descriptions can be Googled to gang stalking as well. Remote neural monitoring ain't nothing but a technology that is being absolutely criminally used for to achieve hundreds of criminal motivations, including rape, including brain entrainment for neural enslavement, for sexual enslavement, which I know you don't understand. Talked about that in some of my other Periscope videos. Okay, but it can also be used for illegal interrogation to extract information, so they can take that information and then stage and prop up their schemes around it, including schemes they bring about against you in court, in prison, in jail, in county mental health, in psychiatric floors, in probate, in group homes after they've taken a legal probate control of you, after accusing you of being mentally ill, a threat to yourself or others, or can't take care of yourself. Now, so what I do is expose these horrific criminalities so my fellow target individuals can be aware of what's going on. This technology can also induce speech. That's even exposed by ex-CIA scientist Dr. Robert Duncan. Now, Dr. Robert Duncan is the doctor who was on the Jesse Ventura show, The Brain Invaders, which you can watch at YouTube by typing that in at YouTube. So you see, what I do is I inform to expose the truth, so the truth can be known for what it is, and you would not believe what I know. When you go to that blog and you see what's in that blog, your mouth is going to drop. You will never see this world again in the same way that you see it now, literally. And then know this: what is exposed in that blog is nothing compared to what I know. Nothing. So, and that is the main reason why I finally opened up today and talked about how many implants that are in me. Now, in closing, I'm going to give you an example here. You can go to Google and you can type in Oakwood Hospital, Dearborn, Michigan, doctor, okay, caught diagnosing hundreds of children with epilepsy and putting implants in their heads. He was caught in 2009 or 10. It's all over Google. So go to Google and type in Oakwood Hospital, Dearborn, Michigan, doctor caught falsely diagnosing epilepsy, and every single one of those children had epileptic implants put in their brains as a result of these false diagnoses. The diagnoses were about epilepsy that they did not have, right? Now, within 2 weeks of me going to the law firm that's handling that class action lawsuit, I was evicted from my hiking area in Dearborn, Michigan, right across the street from U of M, where I was being gang stalked for years on end, exposing it all over the internet. Then go to Google and type in implants and gang stalking. Now, then go to Google and type in Terry Parker Jr., okay, 47 metallic implants put in his head under the guise of epilepsy in 1967. It was either in 67 or 69, excuse me. That occurred in Canada. He's all over Twitter right now. You can Google him, and you'll see that he's still on Twitter to this day. Okay, showing pictures of the implants, of the skull with the implants in them. He's on Twitter right now. Okay, so just Google Terry Parker Jr. 47 metallic implants Twitter, and you'll find him on Twitter, and you'll see the actual skull X-ray of the implants in his head. They were put in his head in 1967 or 1969 under the false diagnosis of curing epilepsy. Now, this occurred in a hospital in Canada, and Canada is literally a 4-minute drive from Dearborn, Michigan. Okay. Now, why would I go to the Benner & Benner law firm, which is the law firm that was handling the class action lawsuit concerning Oakwood Hospital, Dearborn, Michigan, doctor caught falsely diagnosing hundreds and hundreds of children with epilepsy and putting brain implants in their heads? Because Oakwood Hospital was the main hospital that they kept duping me to go to and intimidating me to go to and breaking me down to go to that hospital in Dearborn, Michigan, where massive insurance frauds occurred towards me and much, 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 much more. And that includes their affiliated medical centers that they sent me to. Heritage Hospital in Taylor, Michigan is another hospital that I was criminally put in as a result of being a gang stalking victim, okay, in Michigan. I want the public to know the truth about what they did to me in Michigan. Because I guarantee you right now, fellow American citizens, they will never allow any of this truth to come out in court. So I want the truth to be known. Okay? Now, I looked up the Benner & Benner law firm's address at U of M Dearborn, Michigan Library. So go to Google and type in universities and gang stalking. Then go to Google and type in libraries and gang stalking. Then go to Google and type in cyber surveillance and gang stalking. In reference to how gang stalking perpetrators cyber surveil every single thing a target individual does online so they can use it as a threat assessment to see if what the target's doing is a threat to them, or if anything the target's doing can be a benefit to them. Okay, so I strongly suggest that you research cell phone hacking and gang stalking, cell phone GPS tracking and gang stalking. I also suggest you extensively research cyber surveillance and gang stalking. So, fellow American citizens, I am being subject to brain stimulation like you would not believe, meaning that they can stimulate any area of the brain, which includes rage, okay, happiness, depression, anxiety, fear, anger, hypervigilance, you name it. So, brain stimulation and remote neuromonitoring is all over the internet, okay? And here's another good YouTube video for you to watch. You can go to YouTube and type in Nicholas 1968, then press the space bar on your keyboard, then type in remote control. And what you want to do is you want to bring up his YouTube channel, bring it up. Once you go into it, look for the YouTube video that's got remote control, okay, concerning remote control being the first 2 words of the YouTube video, okay? And you'll know you're in the right video when you see 3 individuals that are dressed up in gold from head to toe dancing in the first 30 seconds of the video. And the reason why I'm directing you to that video is because you not only need to witness some implants going on, but you also need to realize about how third parties can control your arm and your hands. Those are stimulated responsive implants and EMG implants. So if a third party can control your decision making about what to do during a staged event, and if you got implants in your arms and your hands, where a third party can control the movements of your arms and your hands while they can control your decision making concerning moving your arms and your hands, the police can call you a threat to yourself or others. You understand? Do what I tell you to do. I swear, if you do what I tell you to do pertaining to what I exposed in this video, bring the information up, research it, correlate it together, and you will see the whole concerning what I'm exposing. And you will know that every single thing that's coming out of my mouth is the absolute truth. Also research Voice to Skull, which is called B2K, and Voice to Skull and voice cloning, meaning that they're literally cloning the target's voice and can transmit instructions using B2K with the target's voice into the target's audio cortex. And as a result, they believe they're having their own personal thought. Now, that's exposed, included as well by Dr. Robert Duncan and John Hall. So you can YouTube Dr. John Hall Satellite Terrorism at YouTube as well. Got to get and Google that, voice cloning and B2K, which is voice to skull, and gang stalking. I make this video as a direct payback to the perpetrators in reference to, fuck you, you have no right to do this to any human being, okay, if they ever see this video, and to inform the public, because the public needs to know what's going on. These crimes are happening in every single neighborhood, in every single town, city, county, and state in the United States. Every single neighborhood. Okay? So I strongly suggest you Google gang stalking and police as well. My name is Leslie Williams. I made this video to inform, to expose the truth, because the filthy maggots that perpetrate these criminal realities, they absolutely need to be exposed. UCSD played a huge role in the gang stalking of me, and I will never forget their whore asses, ever. So did SDSU. Got to get, fellow American citizens, research what I stated, and you will see truth. Thank you for listening.